The coronavirus vaccine is taking forever. The US is still on its first peak. Yes, first peak. It's not the second because the first one never plateaued. And things are definitely not getting better. But here's the question. Is the vaccine actually taking forever? Or is it actually being made in record speed? This topic is actually insane. So make sure you stick around till the end of the video to find out more. Let's get started. So by now, I'm sure you know what a vaccine is. But just as a refresher, it's a weakened part of a virus that's introduced into your body so that your body recognizes it, determines it's a threat, and creates antibodies that fight against the virus if it's ever reintroduced into your body. That way, it keeps you safe from future infections. But what are antibodies? This entire time, I'm sure you've used the word antibody like a French person uses the word win. They know it exists, but they don't really know what it is. So there we were, and we took the win. And what exactly do you mean by win? Oh, I don't know, we just surrendered. Generally, an antibody is a protein that's shaped like the letter Y. There's 2 heavy chains and 2 light chains. 4 chains. And there's 2 of what are called binding sites. Those are things that actually attach to the parts of the virus that are inserted into your body. So when you first get the virus, you don't have specific antibodies for it, but your body does the heavy lifting and makes antibodies for that specific virus. And then remembers that that's what it did for that specific virus if you ever get infected again. So if a vaccine is that simple, why does it take so long to make? Well, you see, unlike announcing a presidential candidacy, there is a strict process that a vaccine goes through in order to be approved. Now, while I explain this process to you, I'm going to be giving you time standards that are considered normal in vaccine development. Then we'll compare with what's being demanded by COVID-19. Now, this process is generally known as the vaccine development process. But to make it easier to remember, let's use an acronym. Acronym quoi? What? It's an acronym. I never said it'd be an actual word. Don't judge me. The E stands for exploratory stage. This is when scientists look for parts of the virus in question or experiment with making a weakened version of the virus that can be used to make a vaccine. Now, these parts are called candidates. Now, this stage, the first stage, can last anywhere from 2 to 4 years. The P in Apremquois stands for preclinical stage. You take all the candidates you found in the exploration stage, and you test them in cells and animals to see, if it triggers an immune response, i.e. to see if antibodies are created. Now, this stage can't really be sped up and it lasts about a year. Now, for the candidates that do work, they then head into C, clinical trials, where they're given to a small group of people, then more, then even more, making up a total of 3 phases. Now, in a normal situation, this step can take let's say 2 to 4 years to complete, because 1, you have to give small groups the vaccine. Number 2, you gotta increase that sample group and give the vaccine to people that actually need it. Number 3, you have to give the vaccine to even bigger groups to test for immunity. And well, how do you do this? You play a little Plague Inc. Give the subjects time to go out, mingle, see if they get sick. You know what I mean? If they don't, then you know it works and it's time to scale up. And if it doesn't, then I don't know, cry yourself to sleep. Next comes R, for regulatory review. Now, if everything turns out nice and dandy in the clinical trials, then manufacturers can submit an application for a license to produce their vaccine. Now, in typical FDA style, it takes 10 months to do something that should not be taking that long. Good old bureaucracy. Now we're on to M, for manufacturing. The stage is pretty simple. We've got FDA approval, and now we just make the drug, right? Wrong! We need so many things to make the drug. We need the actual mass-produced vaccine, a crap ton of syringes, a crap ton of annoying plastic things that they keep the needles in, and last but not least, a huge, huge amount of money. Hi, I'm Elon Musk, and I just shot a Tesla into space amount of money. So I'm really sorry for crushing your dreams of making a vaccine in your backyard. I didn't mean to. And the last stage, Q, is the quality control, where the vaccines are checked before they're actually distributed. So if you tally up all the time for the entire process, you'll see that it comes out to about 6 to 10 years. Wait, so how long did we say the COVID-19 vaccine would be ready in?
And scientists say they're hopeful it will be available by September.
September. Okay, so then that means it would be like ready in 10 months since the start of the outbreak. 10 months? This thing would be record breaking. We would be taking a 6 to 10 year process and shoving it into 10 tiny months. This is like when you're trying to learn a new instrument, but then your final concert ends up being in a week. 1, 2, 3, 4. It might go badly. So if any of you are wondering why this vaccine is taking forever, I mean, it's not. Unfortunately, if we tend to rush anything, then there's always a chance that it will flop. Wise words for any community college graduate and Zack Snyder. So what if all this rushing doesn't exactly result in a viable vaccine? If we're gonna actually beat this pandemic, we need to be ready to accept that we're all gonna need to learn to be a bit more patient with not only ourselves, but those around us. This has been Big Brain Time. Thank you for watching. Hey everybody, thanks for watching episode 5 of Big Brain Time. It's been a lot of fun to make. I had some help making this one as well. If you liked any part of this video, feel free to leave a like, comment if you have any questions, click up here if you want to check out my other videos, and click right down here to subscribe.